In 1990, there was a fashion house in Milan so unfashionable that its own creative director admitted no one would dream of wearing Gucci. It was nearly bankrupt. The double G logo had been slapped on so much cheap stuff it meant nothing. Then a guy from Texas walked in, and within a few years, Gucci wasn't just back, it was the sexiest name in fashion. That is Tom Ford. And the wild part is that the brand with his name on it didn't even exist yet. Thomas Carlyle Ford was born in 1961 in Austin, Texas. He rearranged the family furniture at 6 and gave his mother notes on her hair and shoes. When he was 11, the family moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico. His two style icons were close to home: a chic, classic mother and a grandmother who did things the big, flashy Texas way. Jewelry, cars, all of it. He once said that flashiness mixed with restraint is exactly what he'd later bring to Gucci. He went to New York for college, enrolled at NYU as an art history major, and promptly fell into the orbit of Studio 54. He dropped out after a year and spent some time acting in TV commercials. Eventually, he landed at Parsons, where in his final year, he switched from architecture to fashion. He cut his teeth on 7th Avenue in New York, designing for Kathy Hardwick and then Perry Ellis. But the move that made him was in 1990 when Gucci's creative director, Don Mello, hired him as the brand's women's wear designer. He packed up and moved to Milan with his partner, the fashion journalist Richard Buckley. This was a risk. As Mello put it, most people didn't even want the job. Joining barely a brand in Italy was a gamble, but Ford's role grew fast. Menswear within 6 months, then shoes, then more. By 1994, he was named creative director of the whole house. What he did next basically rewrote the rules for how a luxury brand sells itself. Ford threw out the logo-laden clutter and replaced it with sleek, 1970s-inspired clothes dripping with sex appeal. The velvet suits, the unbuttoned shirts, a famous white hot moment, Gwyneth Paltrow in a red velvet Gucci tuxedo. He hired stylist Karine Reutfeld and photographer Mario Testino to build provocative ad campaigns that the whole industry started copying. The numbers are staggering. Over his decade leading Gucci, annual sales reportedly grew from around 230 million to roughly 3 billion. A near corpse became a multi-billion-dollar powerhouse, and Ford did it alongside his business partner, CEO Domenico De Sole. In 1999, Gucci Group acquired Yves Saint Laurent. By 2000, Ford was running that house too, designing for both Gucci and YSL simultaneously. Here's the famously thorny part. Yves Saint Laurent himself was not a fan. He reported